Greenpoint is the right place to do it, you know. There's been always an interest in film here. And while having the store for 15 years, most of the customers, they told me just, you should open a cinema, you should open a cinema. So I did. And it's working probably even better than I expected. We started here 3 years ago, but actually the business started 18 years ago on Bedford Avenue, a few blocks away, and that was just a video store. But the idea of the theater was from the beginning, but the only problem was the space, to find a space that will suit both businesses. So after being there for 15 years and having just a store, this place popped up. And it was good enough to fit the store and the theater to have it all in one. Kind of an art house vibe, you know, because I call this place more of an art house than a commercial cinema. That's what it is to me. I've been doing this for 18 years. I guess a lot of people know me. You know, this business was sold out the day it opened because I was already in the neighborhood for 15 years having the store, so everybody knew me. When this place was built, I still had the store. That took 2 months. There was a big banner on the window, cinema coming soon with address. So the day I opened, I was sold out. It's much easier to start from day one when nobody knows you, when you are a new business. I wasn't a new business. I just relocated and expanded. So that's a big plus, you know, especially when it comes to New York with so much competition, you know. This area is a perfect place to it. Probably because it's a mecca of artists right now in New York. It's what Manhattan used to be. Manhattan is when it comes to art dead now. Everything moved to Greenpoint, especially Greenpoint and Williamsburg, the north part of Greenpoint. So I guess that's probably the trend these days. It's a mix. It's genre films, it's vintage films, and it's also new releases, but not the commercial type, not the ones that Hollywood releases. I'm trying to stay away from Hollywood as much as possible. And when it comes to older films, which we screen a lot too, we try to do it rather vintage films, you know, from 50s, 60s, 70s, even 40s and 30s sometimes. It's mostly young people here coming, you know. It's also older people definitely with the knowledge of that. They exactly know what they're coming from. But let's say Argento, he has a cult status. Everybody knows him, younger or older. But definitely this business is driven by younger people, let's say in their 20s or 30s.
So tonight I want to introduce a great, fantastic sci-fi film called Starworms 2 by Lynn Sten. She wrote, produced, and directed this film, and it's her only film of its kind. So I hope you guys enjoy it. There is actually no Star Wars.
It's called Troma Tuesdays. Okay. We do it every third and fourth Tuesday of the month. Troma loves this theater, you know. They do all the new releases. They come out in US from Troma. They have opening nights here at this cinema. There will be in October a Tromathon, which means a Troma Horror Festival here. It will take place 8 days in a row in October. And we do the Tuesdays. We do a lot of events which are not on schedule, but with Troma too. It's not only Troma, but Troma is a good example for you because you experienced ones yesterday. It's not what you see in a typical cinema, you know. But we want to do it that way. We want people to feel cozy and intimate, you know. Yeah. So they come and then they enjoy themselves. Not only sit, eat popcorn and leave, you know. To create a specific atmosphere, you know, that gives you more than just the film itself, you know. That's the whole idea of this place. And I think that makes people come back. But I have a lot of regulars, so that means the formula is working, I guess. Many people who are here for the first time, they seem to be surprised that something like this exists, but I think in a very positive way. Because this is really very different from what you see in an ordinary cinema. As I say, there will be always collectors. The CD or vinyl or book or something else will never die, you know, because maybe more people stream maybe, but still there is always a collector. There is always somebody who wants to have a physical copy. There is always somebody who wants to see on a big screen, not on a laptop or a phone, you know. The vibe is still there, but it's definitely not what it used to be in the 90s. In the 90s, the city was booming with art and everything, you know. Now it's Starbucks, banks, and stuff like this, you know. And many cool places are down. So not only video stores, but so it's not what it used to be, but it's still thriving, you know. When I opened this business 18 years ago, there were 7 video stores in Greenpoint and Williamsburg. Now I'm the only one left. So that means maybe I'm staying afloat because all the competition is gone. That could be one of the reasons too. Plus, this business is driven by the cinema, so I don't depend on it. I mean, I don't depend on the store in 100%. It's just in lunch money, as I call it, you know, but it's still here. That's why I have a lot of people coming, not only from the neighborhood to buy films, it's from all over New York. I have customers coming from all over the world. Just when they are visiting New York, they come here and buy. There is a guy who lives in Hong Kong. He visits New York once a year. He always comes and buys a stack of films, you know. So it's just one of the examples, you know, that the business is not only driven by locals, you know. Considering today's technology, it's hard to predict what's going to happen. So at least I try to give people as much as I can, you know, by giving them unusual screenings, unusual events. We also do here silent films with live score music. So that's another thing we do here. And I don't close myself only in the stricto cinema situation, you know. This is an art house. This is more than that. We have dance performances here sometimes to films. We had Japanese ballet here for the film. Lots of live scores for silent films, you know. There is a lot of things going on here.